channel. If you're new here, I'm Clementine. So I just wanted to say, first off, I am so sorry that I've not been posting a lot since I got back. So I've just had a lot going on, I've been getting back into my schedule and sports have started and stuff. But for today's video, I thought I would talk all about middle school because I just graduated middle school. So I'm going to give you my advice, my tips, anything good to tell you if you are in middle school, going into middle school, or if you just care about what middle school is like. Obviously I don't have a lot of experience yet with the high school stuff, but I can already get a feel for the people, and I kind of know what I'm going into. But I have a few topics here I'm going to talk about. So we have friends, grades, boys, peer pressure, social media, and moving. So because I think all of these things, especially as a girl, you can relate to. So we're going to start with just overall friends. So I would say going into middle school, it can be super duper confusing because I would say going from 6th grade, at least for me, middle school goes from 6th grade to 8th grade. So in those years, a lot of things changed, especially as a girl, physically and mentally. I changed so much. Here's a picture of me from 6th grade and here's a picture of 8th grade, but then this is also how I look now. So you might have friends that you were super close with in elementary school that you aren't friends with anymore. And that can just be because of maturity levels, or if you have different classes. But I would say middle school is a time where a lot of people are trying to find themselves, and therefore it can be hard to make friends. So for me, I moved halfway through 6th grade to where I live now, but over, the 3 years that I was in middle school, I would have lots of friends who would be kind of fake, because also being a girl, girls can be very, very mean. So you can think that you're friends with someone, but then they don't want to hang out with you, or they don't include you in group plans, or they gossip about you. So you just have to be careful with who you're friends with. But I would say unless you have a really, really tight-knit group, friends are going to change a lot. And that might even be the case for you as well. You might have friends that you were super close with that now you're not. It just kind of depends on the person. And also the case for me is a lot of my closest friends I never even thought I would be friends with. So one of my best friends, Ayala, we were never really that close at the beginning of this year, and now we're super duper close. But you just have to trust that whoever you're being friends with is good and they're not going to get you into bad things. So next up is grades. So depending on what school you go to, grades can be very, very important in middle school. But I would say grades for middle school are important, but as long as you are doing fine and you are trying in your classes, you don't need to be super duper worried about getting, A+ on everything. Because middle school can be a taste of what type of work you're going to have in the future. And so it's more just preparing you for high school. But also on that note, you want to make sure that you don't slack off, because you will have recommendations for high school, and high school is when your grades really matter. So you want to make sure that you are trying. Try to just do your best and don't stress out about a bad grade here and there. Next up is peer pressure. So like I said, everyone is kind of at a different maturity level in middle school. So there are some people that, in 6th grade, they're ready to start dating and stuff, but you might not be at that phase. Or it just kind of depends. Sometimes kids getting into bad stuff, drinking or drugs or smoking, whatever. So I would say for the bad stuff, all the negative things, don't get into it because you will regret it. I know that people who have done any of these things, they've either been shamed at school, people can get expelled, and it can really mess you up. So I would say stay out of anything bad. Even if your friends are peer pressuring you, you just got to try and find it in yourself to just say no. And it sounds easier than it actually is. And then towards the sides of dating or something, I would just say whatever you feel you don't want to rush into anything, but you don't, you can just do whatever you feel like you want to do. Next up is social media. So I got a phone in 6th grade, and it was literally only because I had to take the bus and my mom wanted me to, know where I was going. So I got social media. I would say every parent is different for what type of social medias you're allowed to have. I would say be careful because there are definitely a lot of creepy people online. I've definitely learned that from having a YouTube channel. You just want to stay clear of anything bad. Okay, here's a big one. So I didn't know this when I first got my phone, but sometimes you can get texts that are click this link to buy something. You never click those links because they can send you to very dangerous websites or inappropriate things, or they can track you. It's the same on Instagram, anything like that. You just need to be sensible, or don't, like on Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat, don't add anyone you don't know. I would just say be careful, because a lot of bad things can happen on social media. And then also, the bad thing about social media is that I definitely did this a lot, where I would go on my phone and see people hanging out, and it would make me feel really bad about myself. So I would say just try to be careful with how much time you spend on social media. You don't want to get yourself down. So next up is boys. So I'm not talking about dating or anything. In middle school, there will be tons of mean boys. They will tell you, like, right in front of the whole class if they think you're stupid or something. And so I know all my friends and we have all had issues with boys being mean to us in middle school. And I would say the one thing that you cannot do is show that you care. So I had a friend, she had just got a really cool sweatshirt. She loved it so much, and all the guys bullied her at school. And she wanted to cry so bad. But I told her, if you cry, you're basically giving into that. And you don't want them to know that it's actually affecting you, what they say. So you have to be as calm and collected as possible, and don't let it get to you. Okay, so I'm going to go in a little bit deeper on maturity things. So, it's just like stuff like wearing makeup, or, I don't know, getting your period. So like with makeup, I personally didn't start wearing makeup until kind of, I guess, 8th grade. Some people wear full faces of makeup to school, and it's really up to you. I would say try to keep it as natural as possible, because, like, everyone's beautiful. Everyone, like, feels awkward in middle school, but if you just feel confident in your own skin, that is amazing. And then also with periods, so I know that people get them at all different ages and stuff, but it can be really awkward if, like, all of your friends have it and you don't, and just don't even worry about it. It can be annoying, but trust me, like, it's not that fun. Like, and I've heard from friends, like, people have like bad experiences with them. So don't try to rush into it. If you don't have it, you should be thankful you don't have it. So that's kind of just a little bit about that. Also, if you get yours like earlier than everyone, like, everyone will start to catch up, and like, it's not that weird. There's definitely been people in your situation, and every single person is different. So you have to remember that. So lastly, I will talk about moving. So like I said, I moved halfway through 6th grade. With moving, it can be really hard, especially because in middle school, people are trying to figure out who they are, figure out who they want to hang out with. Just try to stay yourself, and you will find people. But put yourself out there, and you might surprise yourself with who you'll be friends with. So that is all I'll be talking about with middle school today. I hope I helped you a little bit. I know that middle school can be super tricky if you're going in, but I hope this helped a little bit. We'll see you soon for my next video. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit post notifications. You will enjoy, and bye!